Hello and welcome to Penumbra Overture. This is one of my favorite games. It's a series. We're going to play all of them. It's up there with Amnesia and Soma. I believe Frictional Games makes this, but they did such a good job making this game. My story begins in February in the year 2000. Oh boy, I wasn't even born yet.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made. Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it, so when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. Pity he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline. His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolution, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of. In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor. Of course, I went, as he knew I would. I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time. My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me. The university I taught at was world renowned for two things: physics and linguistics. I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland. It took me almost a year to book the last flight I'd ever take. As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day, and I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind. We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning the 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Finally, we're almost docked. I better stow my gear. I may be far from home, but chances are I can still pick things up using left mouse. Oh, it's just giving me the... Wow, my sensitivity is high. It's okay. Give me a second to get used to that. A note. Dearest Eric, just a quick note before you set sail and leave me once again. I've left you a little something to remember me by in the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board. Taking shifts because of it is no way to get your rest. But what does a fisherman's wife know about a life at sea? I'll be praying every night for you to make the catch you need so that you can come home to me safely and soon. Please don't be gone for 5 weeks like last time. I know I might nag sometimes, but I do love you, you know. I've washed those overalls of yours. I know you'll get them covered in assorted fish parts in no time, but I still feel better knowing they've had a wash. Before I forget, the Henriksons in the village have asked me to see if you'll be coming by any trout, but I said they were mostly out of season. If you do happen upon any, don't say anything. Stow them in the well in the ice, and I'll do something special with them to celebrate when you come home to me. The ship's captain deserves a little special treatment. Take care, my love. Wow, this volume's really loud in my ears. Okay. Cool. Well, your little surprise is broken now. Can I break this surprise too? Yes, I can. Wow, Jesus Christ. All right, hang on. I gotta fix this. This is just a unokay amount of sensitivity. There you go. All right. Well, can I open this? Can I get in here? No. Oh, notebook. Jotting down information. Blah 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 blah. Can I leave yet? No. Is there something in this drawer for me? No. Well, what am I supposed to do? It leads out to the deck, but I haven't breathing until I have to. Oh, the flashlight. It's such a hard time finding that. Okay, alright. I figured it out. I don't know why that was so hard for me. As I stepped off the boat, setting out into the blizzard that had formed around me, I realized how utterly devoted I'd been to the discovery of my father's past. I had no idea what to expect. Soon enough, my concerns were justified. I don't know whether I lost my orientation or my spirit first, but I lost feeling in my extremities soon after, and I knew hypothermia was setting in. I started looking for shelter. Well, I've never been to Greenland. Am I in Greenland? I think I'm in Greenland. I'm pretty sure this is Greenland. It's cold. My entire head went numb a long time ago, but I could still hear the wind roaring past, or is that some kind of... Okay. Alright, well, I guess I didn't need to read all of that, but that's fine, I guess. Alright. Now, I have played this game before, so I've already got a pretty good... God, the controls. Pretty good general idea of some of these puzzles, so it might kind of seem as though I want to say blow by them kind of quickly, but you know what I mean. I already have a general idea of what's going on. I'm also marathoning this game right now, so I got my snacks, I got my drinks, I've got coffee, I've got Celsius, I got honey buns and Doritos and some extra drinks just sitting around me. And I'm gonna play the whole game in one go and then just edit it afterwards and cut it up into different parts. But we're gonna marathon it. Ooh, a flare! Gimme, gimme. There's a little bit of lag happening here. Hammer. Yes, 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 yes. I understand. Is this coffee? Coffee? No, not coffee. Okay. Can I open this door? No, I cannot. There must be a way in. I know there's a way in, and it's back here. I have to use my hammer. There we go. Beautiful. I want to know what made these holes. Ta-da! Okay, well maybe that's somewhere I don't want to go. Can I put my hammer away? Good. A hole in the center. Okay. Alright. The rod. Yeah. Put the rod in the hole. That's what she said. And turn it. Did I win? Have I opened it? I opened enough. Good enough. Whatever I was descending into was 100 feet below ground, protected by 2 solid metal hatches, located in a remote Arctic wilderness and buried beneath the snow. I didn't know what to expect, but it made me feel something I hadn't felt since I was a child. I'd never given it much thought before, but I realized that our entire society is a network of safety nets, emergency services at the end of a phone line, health and safety in the workplace, friends, family, lovers. All there, if something goes wrong, part of a carefully designed structure to prevent all but most mundane of emotions. Wow, it's a lot of words. Once again, I felt like I did when I was in school, surrounded by a closing ring of older kids, knowing anyone might help me. Friends, parents, teachers were too scared or too far away. You feel isolated, I believe, is what you're feeling. What was that? Place supposed to be older if they're still using paraffin lamps. Looks like there's something. There could be anything down here. If anyone or anything hears me, I'd be best off staying low and out of sight until I know whether or not it's a threat. Crouching by left control gives me a chance to hide in the shadows. I know I got it right because of the blue tint in my vision. Plus, I should be quiet enough that I won't be blah blah blah. Okay, yeah. So don't be loud. Be quiet, so you don't get caught. Hide. Stay perfectly still for a couple of seconds. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna run around here and see what there is to see. An office. Let's see what's in the office. Chair. Calendar. Ooh. Copenhagen Post, Monday, 17th August, 1930. Wow, that's a long time ago. Psychotropic deposits at the bottom of Death Mine. Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have suggested that mine-altering chemicals naturally sown into the rock may be the cause of high suicide rates at a Greenland mine. The university, which has recently been conducting studies into isolated communities, first became interested in the workers of the northwestern lead mine last year. They discovered that even taking into account Greenland's naturally high suicide rate, local figures at the last 100 years were abnormally high. At 46 deaths per 100,000 populace compared to the national average of 29. On further investigation, experts diagnosed in many of miners symptoms in common with earlier stages of paranoid schizophrenia. Schizophrenia, that's a hard word. This has prompted researchers to hypothesize that natural deposits of lysergic acid, a pH 4 formula recently discovered to have hallucinogenic properties, may be present in the rocks. Few locals were conducive to interview, but those who agreed to speak had their own explanations. Invite spirits known as the Turngate live in the mountains. The university is awaiting the results of the chemical testing study continue. Does Greenland really have a higher suicide rate than other places? Ooh, a key. Okay. And you got anything good in here? Ooh, more batteries. That's nice. What's this? Ah, yes, a flashbang. An old man, clutching something unseen. He is strange, and yet he is no stranger. Never before. Still, I know this man before me, Howard. I call him Father. Okay, what the hell was that? I don't know if that was such a good idea. Yeah, probably you shouldn't start touching the weird random glowy thing. Picked up a key. Can I use the key on the chest? Oh, I can use the key on the chest. Big book of explosives. Wow, okay. Cool. Painkillers. Give me that. Gimme. Is this meat? Great. Beef jerky. Love me some beef jerky. Get out the way. More meat. Isn't that convenient? Okay. So I got a book and a note. That didn't feel very, There's something down here. Oh, it's a doggy. Hi there, buddy. Hey there, bud. Don't turn around. Fucking asshole. Never been this scared in my life. Wow. Better not stare at it. Anything within my field of view may make me panic, and then I'm a goner. Okay. Well, best stay away from it then. Jot it down a note just in case. How would I even begin to forget about what it is that I'm doing? Considering the circumstances. Just consider the circumstances. How does one forget what they're doing? Okay. Glow stick. Here we are. Locked. Also locked. That means there's someone inside. I hear chattering. Thank God. Maybe I can get some answers. Ooh, a lighter. So some kind of trap door. What is this? Either the work of a child or a deranged mind. Could be both. Hello? Anybody home? Ooh, more things to touch. Touch? No, nothing. It was different but the same that time. I feel like I had more control, but over what? I don't know, man. I really have no idea what's going on 9 times out of 10, and give me this rock. Stack him in the corner so I can... Thank you. Get to this trap door. Trap door. There it is. Thank you. Sweet. Oh. What's this? Looks like the basement caved in some years ago. Something tunneled through here more recently. Christ, what kind of creature makes these markings? Oh. I hate spiders. With a burning passion, hate spiders. Ooh, a dead dog, mummified. Smell must have been awful. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I certainly bet. Day 1, I begin this record still in hope that the great work we have undertaken here might one day be of scientific value. Despite the chaos which has ensued in the last 6 hours previous, my aim is to remain secure until what help there may be arrives, and to that end, I have barricaded myself into a small workshop area in the abandoned part of the mine. I hope that my meager food rations, meager's an interesting word, here will keep me alive, and that those I hide from will not jeopardize that. Perhaps the mine really is cursed. It's almost precisely 30 years since the incident that brought us here, and now 30 years on, fate has struck again. Day 3. I forecasted that today the rescue crews would arrive, but I can only hypothesize that they would be unaware of my location and hence busy themselves evacuating the other survivors. If they have not arrived by tomorrow, I will go out in search of them. Day 6. My first mistake was to make assumptions on the matter of rescue. My second mistake was to make assumptions on the safety of this mine. My third mistake was to act on both those assumptions and going outside out of my safe haven. My best estimate is that I left the workshop where I was secure about 2 days ago in search of aid, and I have found only danger. I approached the old living quarters, but curiously could find no sign of life whatsoever. I returned in what I thought was the direction which I came from. There we go, but soon found myself in an unfamiliar location. Confused but focused, I attempted to make my way home, but found myself threatened by some species of feral creature, which seemed to have made this old mine its home. Although this specimen bore significant interest to me, I chose to retreat, only to find myself outmaneuvered and outnumbered by the beasts. I turned and ran, injuring my ankle in the process, which I believe is most likely a sprain rather than a fracture. For some time I cowered and fled into the dark, but a few hours ago I discovered a door leading to a smaller, disguised part of the mine, the key for which I have still in my pocket. Within the area I have discovered the storeroom. Okay, and I think I should keep me safe for some time. This place is a maze. My lesson learned. I will not venture out again until I am certain the area is safe. On day 19, rescue seems increasingly unrealistic. Supplies diminishing, lots of spiders in this place. I do not like spiders. Me too, bro. Day 34, I caught one of the accursed 8-legged beasts nestling in my open mouth when I woke up this morning. In my surprise, I swallowed it. Not so much the act of swallowing which concerns me, but the genius of arachnid. It would be unlikely that a cave-dwelling spider would be venomous to any significant degree, but the possibility troubles me all the same. Day 35. Any known venom would have affected me by now, and so today is the first minor cause for celebration I have had since the incident. By lucky coincidence, this revelation also means I have discovered a virtually inexhaustible supply of nutrition. I intend to venture into the basement beneath this storeroom in the name of science to discover more about the creature's natural habitat. Day 50, Jesus Christ. For 4 days now, I've been surviving solely off the quite considerable substance provided from the spiders. From the time I was struggling to gather enough of the crunchy little morsels, however, Lady Luck smiled upon me once more when the batteries in my torch died and I made a second life-saving find. The creature's natural habitat is dark. With my light now diminished, I need only lie still for a few minutes and I have attracted enough of the beast for a rather hearty meal. Gross. Okay, so he's eating the spiders and he's been trapped down here for a very long time. Oh, looks like an eggshell. Oh boy, more reading. Day 71. My earlier assumptions on the benign nature of my cellmates may have been made in error. After a careful autopsy, I am concerned that there may be a small volume of natural chemicals stored in the stomachs which, ingested regularly over a period of time, may become psychotropic or even lethal. My only real chance is to break out of here and raid any stashes of supplies I could find. However, the evidence against such a move is insurmountable. I have no source of light. I swore to myself I wouldn't leave until I heard a human voice outside. The spiders are so tasty. No, they aren't. Oh, day 100. Man, this man's been living off spiders for 50 days. But the marks I've been making on the walls and by scribbled diary entries, which in the dark may amount to an illegible scrawl, today is the 100th day of my new life. Over the past month, my edible friends have become much more and more aggressive and have swelled in number and size. Whether or not this is a result of my plundering of their ecosystem, I am unsure. However, at the rate of growth, they will soon be too large to crawl through the gaps in the walls. For all I know, I could only be seeing the tips of the iceberg. If all else fails, I am never recovered. I hope at least that my study of, and indeed involvement with, these fascinating creatures will one day be regarded as an important point in natural history. The greatest names in modern science got there more through fluke than talent. Wow, Jesus. The greatest names in modern science got there more through fluke than talent, and it appears that this rule has extended itself to my discovery of this delicious new species. I only pray that the second rule deems my breakthrough too insignificant, for all great discoveries tend to consume their inventor. Okay. Ooh. Well, that's a lot of words. Can I hammer this? Yes, I can. Sweet. What is this? A fluid. Oh, ooh, can I put... This should fire up now. Okay. Cool. Can I turn off the steam? I think I can. Yeah, I can. I think I turned off the steam. Okay. I'm not in particular sure what that did for me. There's the dead dog. And then I must have come through this way. Here's this, there's that. That's the room I was just in. What happens if I go this way? Will I find anything over here? Maybe. Oh, there's the ladder so I can get back out. So I assume I need to find my way out of here, which I think is this way. There we go. At least no more spiders. Oh, okay. Somebody sounds like they're not having a good time. Hook this ladder here. Hello? Someone's been dragged through here. I've never seen this much blood before. I thought it was my best chance to get some answers. Who else is still down here? Oh, a key. Another note. Day 200. Good God. It has been some time since I recorded any findings in relation to the spiders with whom I have shared my existence for the past 8 months, partly due to my enforced retreat from their basement territory. Not too long ago, the behavior became overly aggressive, and so I have attempted to barricade the main entrance to their lair and secured myself within one of the smaller rooms above it, the only one with an operational door lock. The other reason is that I have been recovering from a minor operation which I was forced to conduct on myself without the aid of anesthetic. Even if I did have any anesthetic or surgical tools, I couldn't afford to be less than diligent in my work, so anesthetic was out. Surgical tools are well and good, but although it may be becoming old and rusty, I still trust my penknife to do the job just as well. The procedure itself was elementary enough, a simple amputation of a non-vital organ. I began noticing a thick glue-like substance forming on my tongue and was forced to accept that I had become infected through constant toxic ingestion. Day 300. Another century of days comes and goes, and it seems so long since I escaped here. At some stage since my last entry, I attempted to return from whence I came, but from which I originally was fleeing seems a fate worse than the one I now face. However, in the time since I arrived from the large mine system, a cave-in has occurred, blocking any further progress. I was forced to return and accept whatever end life has in store for me. I still hear my aggressive little friends scratching at the door to my cell. Oh dear. Homeboy is not doing well. Oh, it's the largest spider. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's his tongue. He cut his tongue out. And he just neatly stacked it right there. Isn't that nice? This hole isn't large enough for a man, not that I go anywhere near it, even if I was. What burrowed through this tunnel? Don't know, but I'm not sure I want to find out. Let's get out of here. I have a key. I have a key to something. An old key. Can I light these? Is that what this is for? Is what this is for. Oh, that's nice. Do I hear dog? I heard dog. Thought I heard dog. I'm not sure if I heard that. Oh yeah, I did hear him. Well, I'm unsure as to where he is. Does this key open this door? It does. Okay, alright. Well, I blocked the door. Come here. There, the door has been blocked. Okay. I'm gonna go to workshop. Let's go to workshop. You know what? Actually, this feels like a good stopping point right here. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Adios.